Good afternoon, folks. My name is Eugene Fahngon. Let me get some water here real quick. That way we don't come back if I need extra. Let's make sure our video quality is good by checking. Once again, good afternoon. And thank you for joining. Those of you that are just joining, we want to say to you that we appreciate you as highly as anyone would. Again, I want to thank those of you that are joining, and if you can invite your friends or somehow share the videos so that your friends can get in on this. I'm going to do everything within my power to stay afloat. I'm not playing music today because we're not going to make this video long. It's going to be very, very short. Alright, and I'm going to recap quickly for you. I want to make sure that all of my dry erase pen work. Where's my stuff? Let's see. Just a test. That one works. That one works. Can I get a red or something? No, that one doesn't blow up. Maybe this blue one might. I don't know. Let's do this. Oh, I see a couple of them right here. So that makes it easy, folks. You want to go ahead and share the video. We're about to blast a couple of things here. I'm just making sure that I can find some good stuff that work. No, doesn't. Maybe. All right, good afternoon. If you're just joining us, we want to say welcome to our podcast. I'll be dealing most of the time on this side of the board. That's where I'm going to do most of your quick diagram, okay? If you look at my, and again, let me touch on a couple of things quick before we do anything. I had the rumors that I went to the Unity Party. And there are rumors that my friend and brother Henry Costa did not say emphatically that he's going to the Unity Party, but somewhat insinuated that that's where he's headed. Well, Costa and I are not the same. But what I saw from Costa is that he said emphatically that he will be judged by his conscience. And that made me really believe that he's not going to the Unity Party. Why I say so is because you don't take 12 years to fight an association or political institution, yea, in all respect, a political party. You don't do that for 12 years, go to jail and everything, and then come back in year number 13 and tell people that I have to be judged by my conscience. All fairness and honesty to him, all due respect, this is not meant to be him, but it is the most stupid and dumbest thing anybody can do. What were you using first? You had a conscience. That's why you went after the cartel, and in particular the Unity Party, for almost 12 years. 12 years you're fighting one group of people for being corrupt, for being nepotistic, for carrying out ritualistic killings, sodomization. The list can go on. Corporate cronyism. And then after 12 years, to make a choice between them and another person, and then you say I'll be judged by my conscience? What were you using first? What were you using first? So until Costa can make that decision, I think it's fair for people to leave him alone. When we hear from Costa's own mouth, then the game will be different. Because I would truly be wanting a doctor to examine his head. That now he has conscience. The worst insults he took, and the worst insults he gave. Put his life on the line. For 12 years. Fighting these people. And you get to the finish line and about to turn them over, and then you say, I'll be judged by my conscience. What the hell? I don't believe it. And I'm not going to go after Costa right now. Until Costa takes that decision, spare me. I think Costa is way smarter than that. I know Costa is smarter than that. I know Costa cannot say, after 12 years, I won the same people I fought for 12 years, went after for 12 years, insulted for 12 years, denigrated for 12 years. That's the people I won now. And then after I elect them, I can continue my radio show. No. Some of you may be dumb. I stand to be corrected now. But I don't think Costa that dumb. Let me correct that. Second thing here. I'm getting rumors that, we haven't heard from Eugene Fahngon for 2 days. It means that Eugene Fahngon is somehow switched over to the Unity Party. I don't know what some of you are smoking, but I don't smoke that kind of stuff you're smoking. And I'm not going to take the kind of drugs you took. After you squandered $9.4 billion, no electricity, no running water, that you and I can agree that Monrovia is not Liberia, and that you carry on corporate cronyism, that you carry out nepotism to the highest degree, something the whole world has never seen before, that you kill people's children and hung them from trees because you felt their little hearts and their little kidneys and somehow their little scrotums could make you powerful, that you rape little girls consistently and continuously. In Monserrato alone, the data show that over 500 little girls were raped in 2014. Go to the Ministry of Gender website. That you sat down and appointed John McLean, Wilson McLean, Edward McLean, what the other McLean? Rufus McLean, Randolph McLean, the whole McLean family in government. That you did not stop there though. You appointed Angeline Weeks as head of the electricity board. The same Angeline Weeks, you appointed her as head of the telecommunications network in the country. Then you took her sister, Antoinette Weeks, who had failed at the Ministry of Public Works, and now appointed her to ECOWAS. You didn't stop there though. You took the other sister, Ophelia Weeks, and made her head of the university. All these positions I'm naming are still current as I speak to you. Right after you were done with the third sister, you took the fourth sister and made her deputy minister at the Ministry of Finance, Andorra Weeks. So we got Angeline Weeks, Antoinette Weeks, Ophelia Weeks, Andorra Weeks. That's the four sisters. Then you got ready for the brothers. You took Kemi Weeks, you made him head of the water and sewer. And then you took Milton Weeks and made him head of the Central Bank of Liberia. And you are going around saying Eugene will come to the Unity Party? Are you serious? No, let's put joke aside. Are you really serious that a Weeks family will run the electricity, will run the telecommunication, will run the water, will run the educational, the tertiary educational part of the country, which is the University of Liberia, will lobby with ECOWAS through the other sister, Anthony Weeks, and then we'll take the brother and make him run the water, and then take the other one and make him run the central bank, and you will call Eugene and say, we need you to help. Have you forgotten that there was somebody in Liberia that has the last name Yapawolo, or Yapazu, or Bolokaju, or Juba? Have you forgotten that? And that somehow I am stupid not to know that Samuel Doe was used by the same group of people. That Charles Taylor was meant to replace Samuel Doe, except that he came from the Congo background. That I'm somehow not inclined to realize that all of the interim government heads were all members of the cartel. That somehow I don't know the difference between the political cartel and that of the Congo people, who are not poors. That I had the opportunity to listen keenly and watch them on my small screen as they went about their meeting yesterday, and what I learned from that meeting. That somehow I am stupid. Maybe you guys are right, that I may be stupid, but I am that stupid enough to the point where I am now smart in my stupidity. There is no way in the world that you're going to have Robert Salif controlling the oil through knockout. Charles Salif as deputy bank governor of the central bank. Former Salif with the pistol in his hand on his side. And somehow I should give you all 18 years of the same nonsense. That I am that stupid. Okay, maybe I can agree with you that I am stupid. But here is what does not make sense to me. Before I tell you all about the meeting, the last time I checked, NOCA was the outlet of money in the country. That's where the money was coming from. It was the faucet. Then, when you have money coming from a place, you need that money to go into a bank. So, you send the money into the bank. You send the money into the bank. And in order, when money comes from here into the bank, knock out to the bank, you need security, or else armed robbers will go into the bank. Or people will take the money. Or something evil will happen. That is not my business. So then you need security. From knockout, money goes into the bank, and you need the security for these people and the money and everything. That somehow I am supposed to be stupid because Rob Salif is right there. Charles Salif SR. And then you need security. And who do you have right here? Former Salif. So what do you want to tell me? That I'm that stupid that I don't know what's happening right here? No, I'm not that stupid. I may be that stupid, but here is how stupid I am. Knockout was the faucet for money. And those monies had to go to this bank. And in order to have a banking situation where the money is kept, you got to have security. Here is what happened. Ralph Salib was at Noka. Charles Salib was at the bank. Former Salib was in charge of the security. My country was screwed. Do you hear me? My country was screwed. Other areas that the money came from, after a serious civil war, infrastructure completely gone. So, but there are several infrastructures that the international community will rush. They will rush to pick up because they are not wants, they are needs. They are needs. They may not rush earlier on, immediately after the war, but here is what you're looking for. You are looking for the Liberian Electricity Corporation. You are looking for the Liberian Telecommunications. You are looking for the Liberian Water and Sewer. And then what else? These are three main areas. Three main areas. What will happen? If you don't know, maybe I may be stupid, but not stupid not to know what the game is. The weeks. I'm done with the Salib. The weeks. This right here will go to Angeline Weeks. Weeks. This right here will go to her sister. This Liberian Electricity Corporation. Angeline Weeks. She is still there as I speak to you. Maybe I'm stupid. She's still the head. Liberian Telecommunications or Liberian Telecommunication Authority. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not mad. I'm just serious. The same Angeline Weeks. She's in charge right now. Do you hear me? She's in charge right now. Liberia Water and Sewer. Kenny Weeks. He's in charge right now. You hear me? He's in charge right now. Now, if these people are collecting huge monies from here, and it's supposed to be a form of revenue for the government, that money has to go in the central bank, CBL, Central Bank of Liberia. So, money is not getting ready to go in the central bank. Money into the central bank. Who's in the central bank? CBL, Central Bank of Liberia. Guess who's in charge of that one? Milton Weeks. Milton Weeks. All of these here, that's where the money goes. CBL, Central Bank of Liberia. Milton Weeks. Now, if you got Angeline Weeks, Kenny Weeks, Liberian Electricity Corporation, Liberian Telecommunication Authority, Liberia Water and Sewer, forget about the bank right here. In order to track those monies, there got to be somebody at the Ministry of Finance that will play with the damn paperwork. That's where this one comes in. Ministry of Finance, Planning and Development. Ministry of Finance, Planning, Development. Who's over there? There's a lady there. Andorra Weeks. Andorra Weeks. Let's put N right here. Andorra Weeks. Finish. Close. Kaput. Paperwork damage. Money trail. Into the bank. Bank operation taken care of. All the money is coming from here. What do we have next? Whenever there's a problem at the university, we're in a country like this. The people who start the demonstration are usually LU students. Students from the University of Liberia. How do you keep an eye on the University of Liberia. Tell me how you keep an eye on the University of Liberia. If you don't know, I'll help you. That's my job. UL, University of Liberia. Go there and keep an eye on those kids. They are rescued children. They are the country people children. Go keep an eye on them. Who will they send here? Ophelia Weeks. Ophelia Weeks. That's who they will send there. She's there right now. She's there right now. He's there right now. He's there right now. She's there right now. She's there right now. Now, if this is going on, ECOWAS will be monitoring Eugene Fahngon. We need somebody to operate within ECOWAS that knows what is going on and to control ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. Who will we send there? ECOWAS. ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. What do we send there? The former failed Minister of Public Works, Antoinette Weeks. There's a difference between Antoinette Weeks and Angeline Weeks. Angeline Weeks controls these two areas right now as I speak. Right now. There is a difference. Why am I bringing this up to you? It's because you don't understand what a cartel is. You don't understand what a political cartel is. But many of you, almost all of you, know exactly what a drug cartel is. Let me help you understand what a political cartel is. And you go to your Google and check it out. It is a group of political parties that use the state resources to perpetuate themselves in power. Go and look it up. Therefore, when we speak about the cartel, we know what the cartel is. We know what a political cartel is. And the political cartel have ran the country for over 55 years. Having said that, let me educate you now to where we are. I will be taking you to what came out of the meeting yesterday between the political cartel and the Congo people. The reason why I'm separating the Congo people from the political cartel, part of what you just saw was a Congo dominance mixed with cartel members. But let me help you understand that. In 2005, quickly, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will move on as head of the political cartel. Why will Ellen become head of the political cartel? And what led to Ellen becoming head of the political cartel? It's because those strong men who organized the cartel did not have the balls to do what Ellen did. And that is to organize Charles Taylor and his group to be able to launch an invasion into the country and ultimately take Joe from power. She had attempted before in 85. She attempted before in 82. 83 per se. Nima raid, something like that. However, here is where we are right now. When the political cartel came to Liberia, it came under a banner called the Progressive Alliance of Liberia. Then some of them who say they call themselves Moja. But when they tell you that a cartel is a group of political parties they use the state resources to perpetuate themselves in power, does not necessarily mean that they have to be president. They run the show. They can sit in the backyard and run the show. Keep that in your mind. It is a cartel, but it is a political cartel. So you got the likes of H-Boy Formula, to Banati Pate, Amos Claudia Sawyer, all those guys. So what happened? I don't need to go over this diagram. Check my videos, subsequent videos. But just a quick recap. Ellen Johnson said it in 2005. Many people are asking now, so Gabriel Colette died. So Jackson Hebdo died. But these guys went behind the line. Share the video, please. They went behind the rebel lines. Though did not kill them. They met with Taylor. And that is, just go to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. You will see the share button. Just hit share. There's nothing wrong with sharing, especially if you are a seditious. You should share this video. That's your job. That is your job. To share it. Alright. So, she goes on. Taylor comes into the play. Jackson Hebdo leaves Samuel Kayando. Many of you asking, who was Jackson Hebdo? He was the guy that was said to have won the 1985 elections. He was the standard bearer of the Liberian Action Party. And many agreed that he won that election, and Doe took it from him. But it was Jackson Hebdo and Ellen that formed that party. But the cartel came about under the banner of multi-party democracy. But when they came out of jail, it was Jackson Hebdo, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Amos Sawyer, Tupanati Pute, H-Boy Famule, B.N. Kesseley, Baron Tar. Just so many of them, I can't name them all. Then what happened? Instead of them hold together, no. Vargas Matthew will go on to form the United People's Party. Sawyer and his man Famule, Liberia People's Party. Jackson Hebdo and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Liberian Action Party. B.N. Kesseley, Unity Party. Gabriel Colette, Liberian Unification Party. The list just goes on. However, what happened? What happened? Doe did not kill any one of those people. Because Doe was a friend. He knew that it would have cost him a lot more than just government. So Jackson Hebdo will flee. Gabriel Colette, all of them, go behind rebel lines. Charles Taylor will meet them, shake their hands. And you think crab can't eat crab. Remember this, when I say crab cannot eat crab, I will play the same scenario that you will look at in 2005, 2011. Don't go away from that. Crab cannot eat crab. But you will see how it turns out. So Jackson Hebdo will see Liberian die. And he will talk to Taylor about it. Why then was Jackson Hebdo killed behind rebel lines when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Charles Taylor were in charge? How do you look at a man who is said to have won the election in 85 and after almost 1 month living behind rebel lines, you take him behind the Phoebe hospital and shoot him in the head? The guy who came third or fourth to him, Gabriel Colette, will also be killed of the Liberian Unification Party. Hold on, cartel. Hold on, political cartel. Why are you killing those guys? I thought they were opposition leaders. I thought you came to liberate the Liberian people. Here is the reason why they were killed. After the rebel war, there would have been elections. And nobody would have won Jackson Hebdo. He would have won it, hands down. Hands down, he would have won it. Because that was the man who won it in 85. The cartel decided that there was no time for Monkey to work and Babum to draw. It was cheaper, easier, and better to get rid of him in a rebel war than to get rid of him at the ballot box. Ballot or bullet? They voted to give him a bullet. Same with Gabriel Paulet. So remember what parties they had, right? And so we all know what happened, what the cartel did. After erasing those people, I've given you the same diagram before. You all know what the cartel did. So in 2005, just to bring you up to speed before I tell you about the meetings, Liberian Action Party, Liberian People's Party, Liberian Unification Party, those three parties were owned and operated by three individuals. H. Boyman Famula, Liberian People's Party. Jackson F. Doe, Liberian Action Party. Gabriel Paulet, Liberian Unification Party. Then what happened? Jackson F. Doe is killed, Gabriel Paulet is killed, Famula is still alive. Do you think it's magic? They will seize the party in 2005 and tell Barney Sherman to run it. Barney Sherman would become head of the political cartel. Barney Sherman's strategy would be to send Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to get the party of Bien Kesseley. So Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will buy Bien Kesseley party, and then Barney Sherman will control the Liberian Action Party, the Liberian Unification Party, and the Liberian People's Party. But Barney Sherman is head of the cartel. And then they will put the cartel senior chief, Bromsky, right there. You see the cartel in 2005 right there. Push it to second round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beat George Weah. Easy. No sweat. No sweat. Easy beating for George Weah. In 2011, these three political parties, controlled by Barney Sherman, will then join Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Liberian Unification Party, Liberian People's Party. Famula will be rewarded from the Liberian People's Party, Barney Sherman, and then now Nukwe, who changed Liberian Unification Party to People's Unification Party. They will all be rewarded. This place will be empty. In 2011, they will bring PYJ right here with the NUGP. They will bring Prince Johnson right there. They will go again in 2011 with George Weah. They will pay Prince Johnson a huge sum of money. And Prince Johnson, you know I'm speaking the truth. Just be on the side of the Liberian people for one time in your life. They will pay him huge sums of money. And then what happened? Right after that, they will push a second round, even George Weah will run away. But before then, the cartel will infuse into the CDC Winston Tubman. If George Weah had challenged the result, he would have won. But Winston said no, and he was the boss. The cartel won again. Bam, 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 gone. In 2017, the plan was the four political parties up there would forget about the Unity Party because its brand was damaged and go with the man Bromsky. They bought him cars. This 2017, took care of his party headquarters, paid all his people. Then what happened? The politics of nativity gets in. Waka rejects. The cartel is in disarray. They brought in the ANC. The ANC was supposed to play dummy. The ANC did not. This guy got mad. This guy right here don't know what he's doing. Kumis. This guy right here knows what's happening. Is upset. But you can never, ever trust the cartel. Never. So here is the new game plan they came up with. That's what I'm about to explain. So now, the Congo people and the cartel, They meet in Washington, D.C., and I'm called. Hey, you want to see something? I'm like, yeah. They say, okay, come on down. I come down. I'm sitting there with stuff in my ear, and I'm watching my small screen. Congo people meet with the cartel in D.C. They say, yeah, what's the deal? What is the deal? We're approaching second round, actually. The Congo people confess that George Weah wins. George Weah won the first round. That his ballots were trash and the people were denied. And I'm saying this because they taught me. I listened to them very well. They said had everyone, including George Weah, had George Weah agreed to tell his people to use their tongue, they would have lost the election no matter what they did. I hope George Weah is listening. That's what your Congo people said. And I don't care what anybody says. They said if you had told your people to only use their tongue, nobody use finger, a pen rather, pen, they would have lost the election no matter what they did. The good thing was they told them to use pen. So Congo people tells members of the cartel based here in the United States that the cartel said, but we managed to control and manipulate the numbers, destroy most of his votes. That is irrelevant now. What do we do? Well, the cartel goes back to the Congo people in that conversation and say, well, you guys are merely the guys with the box, but you guys have more stake in this than we do. So the question then was, listen to the conversation. The cartel said you guys will have to handle it from here. So the Congo people asked the cartel, and this is a long conversation. I'm just breaking it down. What the Congo people asked the cartel what they're supposed to do. They said all you guys need to do is come together and sue separately. Sue the NEC separately. If you sue the NEC separately, there is no way all of you will lose. And all we want is for one person to win the case that will force the Supreme Court, which is controlled by us, to annul the results and call for what? Re-election. If we get re-election, the cartel is asking for re-election. They want the Congo people to come together and sue separately. Sue the NEC separately. Now, clearly the cartel made it clear that they got rid of many of the ballots. They trashed it, they did this, they denied the votes. And now the cartel is now supplying the areas that they trashed the ballots, all the evidences, supply, all evidence, to make a case for the Congo guys. I don't care who you watching. That's what these people were talking about. Supply all the evidence. These guys are supposed to go to the Supreme Court. And if they win their case for a re-election, then what they're going to do? Here was their design. They said George Weah, and they didn't say 39%. They said George Weah won 60% or 40% of the votes. Had they not intervened, George Weah would have won 70% of the votes. So they are saying they believe George Weah won 70% of the vote. The Liberian people will now believe that there are 60% of the votes lucky. Meaning people need to look for 60% of the votes. Here is where they had the problem in the meeting. They said that if we have 60% and the Liberian Supreme Court annul the results and call for re-election, what's going to happen? Here is where they had a problem. They said that George Weah is like this. look here. I'm making this here. This is supposed to be 50% right here. This is supposed to be 50%. That's the line. These people are saying, listen to this. George Weah is right here, which is 40%. 40%. Joseph Parker is half of what George Weah has, which is right here. Okay? Not half. Let's just give him the 30%. They said 20% because they know that out of 10% is not real. They said that Joseph Parker is right here 20%, not 29 or 30%. That's what they said in the meeting. They said that it will require him to fill these 2 blocks. Whereas for George Weah, it will require that 10% and 1 to cross this green line. Here was their theory in the meeting. And there was a brilliant guy speaking, by the way. Very brilliant guy. He said that assuming we had 100 people, that's what he said, 100 people. 100 people out of the what? 60% of the vote remaining. His theory was, if we got 100 people remaining, let's just assume 100. That's what he said. If he used a different number, I would have put it there. I would have put it there. But let's assume he had 100 people remaining. Think about it for a second. If for any reason, to get to 40%, George Weah used 400 people. That was his theory thing though. 400. That 50% will require another 100 to get to 500, another 100 to get to 600. But he said, listen, here is what it takes. If George Weah needs 10% here, 10% here, how much do you think Joseph Parker needs? 20% to get right here. This is 40%. He needs a 20% to get right here. To be at George Weah 40%. Definitely, Parker will need not only the 40%, the 20% to get to 40% right here, as he went on. He said then when you tie with George Weah, you will need that other extra 10% to cross this line, plus 1 to beat George Weah. Whereas, there is no way in 100 people, all of them will go for him. So the question they had was that, can the Congo people, right here, can they give us 100% of all these people? There's 100 people. Can they give the whole 100 people to us? The answer was no. You cannot get those 100 people. So then the next question was, what number in this 100 do you think we can get? Someone suggested maybe you get 65 to 70. And the guy said even the 30 people will put George Weah over the line. He'll still flog you. So what's the deal? So the cartel decided ultimately that the best route to go is to let the Congo people sue and then annul the election results, call for re-elections, and that many of them with their political parties should now all merge and go against George Weah. And that's what I'm waiting for. That is what I'm waiting for. Because then it is an easy victory for the Liberian people, not the CDC, not me, not anybody. But they said first thing first. They are now going to, the results of the meeting yesterday was to take the NEC to the Supreme Court. So let's do the results. Here are the results. The Congo people should sue NEC, take NEC to the what? To the Supreme Court, SC, sorry. And get what? SC, get what? An annulment. And then after you get the results annulled, re-elections, we go to re-elections. ready for re-election, the cartel is saying that the division hurt them. So just like they did in 2011, where the Liberian Action Party, Liberian Unification Party, Liberian People's Party joined the Unity Party, that they should merge all the little parties together, that is the big ones that came close, and then merge. Super party they call them. And run against we are. So that was the result of the meeting. The result of the meeting between the Congo people and the cartel. The Congo people should take the election commission to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will annul the results of the election. There will be re-elections. The super parties will merge and they will go against we are. Liberians, we already know the game. Came out of Washington. Now, this plan is for Liberia. Let's look at the U.S. plan. What is the plan in America? The plan in America is to lobby the United States government enough to believe that one, Charles Taylor has his hand in the CDC. Make U.S. government believe, U.S. government believe the following. The plan of the cartel is to make the U.S. government believe the following. One, Charles Gange Taylor runs the CDC. Two, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Sons are supporting the CDC. Three, and I will tell you the reason why. They stated the reason. Obviously, you and I know exactly. Most of us know why, but I'll tell you the reasons why they want to do that. Three, they said that they will spend massive sums of money on media in America. On media in America. I don't know if they think they can buy the American press like how they've paid for the Liberian press. I don't even know why they want to go that route, but it's all part of their plan. Four, give George Weah as a threat to the security of America. George Mane Weah, as a threat to the security SEC of the U.S. Now, why they want to put Charles Taylor, why they want to make the American government believe that Charles Taylor runs the CDC? We call that the politics of fear. We call that the politics of fear. When your opponents have nothing to run on, they use fear tactics. But these plans are not for Liberia. These plans are for the U.S. government. To make the U.S. government believe that Charles Taylor is operating the Congress for Democratic Change. An absolute bullshit. Complete nonsense. Utter stupidity. Because Charles Taylor is in a British prison. What was the reason they gave? They said the Americans know how they let Charles Taylor out. So they will be fast to believe that the British government will follow suit. Who's going to believe that nonsense? That Charles Taylor runs the CDC from prison. Absolutely stupid. What are they, who have they chosen that they're going to target? They're saying that they will target Alan White, the very man that prosecuted Charles Taylor. That's the man they're going to target, and according to them, they will be prepared to spend some money. They didn't say how much, but hopefully, I hope Alan White eats enough money to share some with me. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's sons are supporting the CDC. They said that if they make the American government believe that, it's easier to sell that the reason why Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is doing it is to avoid prosecution. Is to avoid prosecution and to overturn the recommendations of the TRC. I don't see what logic is in that. Because overturning the recommendations of the CDC is not something that anybody cares about. Overturning the International Criminal Court or something like that is somewhat bothering. But Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was in America, I think 2 weeks ago or 3, bearing witness it with Donald Trump and left. Nonsense. They're going to convince, they're going to spend massive sums of money on media in America and to lobby Congress to begin to look at George Weah. Not possible. This one gave George Weah as a threat to the security of the U.S. George Weah's son just scored a hat-trick. And on ESPN today, on ESPN, not yesterday, not day before yesterday, no, today, look at ESPN top 10 plays. Timothy Weah came in at number 10. And again, Timothy Weah, his goal was at number 4. So on the top 10, he appeared twice, at number 10 and at number 4. Timothy Weah. So now, whether you like it or not, let me tell you in some of the things that they were doing. Edwin Snow now replaces Ngafwan, as if Edwin Snow is more capable than Ngafwan. Why would the cartel decide to use Edwin Snow? Here is why. Remember the generational thing Madam President Ellen talked about? The United Party knows very well that it is not a political party. It is the head now of the political cartel. The idea that George Weah did not know book did not sell. The idea that Taylor's wife was bringing in the Taylor agenda, it did not sell. So, this generational change against the cartel sold. And so, the cartel have decided to use men like Edwin Snow. It is my understanding that yesterday, Edwin Snow, accompanied by Nukwe, Emmanuel Nukwe, went to Nukwe's own backyard. First of all, Nukwe have lost his district. So Nukwe is about to become a jobless man. Nukwe could not even win election in his own district. There was a guy that flogged him like a market dog. So now, if you call yourself a man and you keep pee in your own house or pee in your own house, are you expecting to go pee in somebody's backyard? That's stupid. Because if your wife will not allow you to pee in your own house, Will it be in somebody's backyard that you would pee? That's stupid. But however, to show you how these guys are desperate and we care less about anything, they take a pregnant cow. A pregnant cow is equivalent to 2 cows. So they went to beg the people of Magidi yesterday. The people of Magidi told them, we accept the apology, but they gave them back their cow and told them thank you, but no thank you, you can take it back. Any further negotiation will be held after the elections. If Nukwe was so wicked to his own people, to the point that they turned their back on Nukwe, so arrogant, so rude, so wicked to his own people, to the point where they rejected him at the ballot box, as a representative, not as a president. Who are you sitting out in America to tell people to take Nukwe? Who are you? So, they gave Nukwe then a pregnant cow back and told them, thank you, but no thank you. And then the people said to them, but why did you bring us a pregnant cow? What sort of wickedness is that? Prior to that, Edwin Snow and 3 opposition leaders went to the president's farm to hold a meeting with the president to beg her pardon for all the insults that came from the United Party. The president told them, look, listen, if y'all will win this election, y'all will win it on your own. I am not with you people. I have said it and I will say it again. And according to what I learned, according to what the rumors going around, the president asked them, all the money that was stolen and all the corruption that took place, was it me? They said no. She said, that's it, I rest my case. When all of you work in government and you refuse to take the blame, but all of y'all say I was the wicked person, I'm stepping out of the way, yeah? Y'all who the good people, y'all go around your campaign. And she was finished with it. So Edwin Snow goes home and calls all the chiefs in Bombing and told them latest information coming from America says that if you vote for George Weah, the American people say they will not support you. So guess what? I went to DC, I stood in the middle of the road and I asked the people, is that true? They say, who the hell is Snow? Many of the top dogs ask, who the hell is Snow? If he's serious, let him come to America. Edwin Snow can never, ever, forever, until Judgment Day, there is a jailhouse waiting for Edwin Snow here. And if Edwin Snow calls himself a real man, like I am a man, all the money he got, I challenge him to come to America. There is a jail. They got a special cell in America. Cell A. Strictly for Edwin Melvin Snow. They got that cell here waiting for you, boy. For all the things you did during the Civil War. They got it here waiting for you. So to tell people in Liberia what the American people say, they don't care about it. They're only waiting for you. That's what a man that stripped a girl naked, ran her around the pool. This was a man that attacked Robert Salif under the Palawa hut at the president's house because they left him outside and he wanted to be part of the gas deal. This was the same man. Ashra Ghale is on tape saying ordered men to beat him until he was bleeding. So many stories from the NPFL behind the lines. Married to Charles Taylor's daughter, were part of Charles Taylor's family, and you want to come tell us trash? But that's not us. The American people wish you would visit America. They're waiting for you. They got Cell Air waiting for you. Your name is already written on it. Last but not the least. Last but not the least. Is this, my fellow Liberians. We are now in the era, and I'm going to make this super good for you. Last but not the least. Fake opposition versus real opposition. Fake opposition versus real opposition. What do we have? This is where you're going to know the fake opposition political parties versus the real opposition political parties. This is where you get to know who were in the opposition and who were operating with the cartel. I have been in the opposition. I am in the opposition. I will remain in the opposition. Period. No further statement to that. I have been opposed to the Unity Party. So today, we have a choice. And that choice will lead us to find out who the fake opposition is and who the real opposition is. Here are signs of fake opposition. Here are signs to look for fake opposition. You want to know the fake opposition? Watch them. There were 20 political parties in the race. The race against the cartel. What are the Ganta Declaration? I don't give a damn. What are the Monrovia Accord? I don't give a damn. The reality is, you were not opposed to the Unity Party for 12 years to surrender to the Unity Party in just days. Now, unlike the other times where the cartel had a political party that always when they came together, this is the first time the cartel has been discovered. The family, the Sawyer, the Tipote, for over 55 years. We lost about 500,000 people. Almost all of our leaders are dead. Samuel Doki, Enoch Dokalie, Jackson F. Doe, Gabriel Pollard, Dr. Stephen Yekasing, Paul Vey, what else? We can continue to name them. I got a whole list of those people, all killed by the cartel. They're rolling in their graves. And after 55 years, we have the opportunity to take back power from the cartel so that power can be equally distributed amongst our people. And now, you want to give an excuse to be with the cartel? You gotta go take up Jackson F. Doe. You gotta go take up Sam Doki. You gotta go Moses Tuopu. Enoch Dokolie. You gotta go take up Thomas G. Kuampa. You gotta go take up everybody to tell us that we have to give power back to the political cartel. How many members of the political cartel died from bullet wounds or being sliced to the throat? Give me one. Don't worry, I'll wait. How many members of the political cartel, all the Congo people, got killed by a bullet or a knife. Don't worry, I'll wait. Only the ones that disagree. But I know of a few that got killed. So, the fake opposition, if you are looking at George Weah, whoever 30% of his votes were thrown away, damaged, put in the sea, in the water, whatever, this man still managed to win 40%. 40% of the whole country. The whole country. In terms of the registered voters, no. Vote council, 40% out of 20 political parties. 20 political parties. If they were to divide the votes equally, each political party is supposed to get 5%. 5%. And George Weah would take his 5% and walk away to get 100%. To get 100%. Each of the 20 is supposed to walk away with 5. This guy was supposed to walk away with 70. And it took 30% for him, throw it in the sea. He still walks away with the amount meant for 8 political parties. And forget about NEC. He still walk away with 13 political subdivisions. It is the mandate and will of the Liberian people that counts here. But guess what? You want to know a fake opposition party? The ones who will agree, first and foremost, that the elections must be held all over again. They're advocating for re-election. What? They will be putting the country into massive debts. 2, calling for chaos. 3, acting on the orders of the cartel. Like I told you, the meeting was held, re-election. 2, pressured endorsement. Pressure endorsements. What is that supposed to mean? Endorsements from the likes of, and that doesn't mean Benin Ayua will do it, or Alexander Kumis will do it, or Bromsky will do it. But it's called pressure endorsements because if you get them to endorse Joseph Boakai, it creates a pressure on the CDC. Which for me, no pressure. No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. Now, many of you may be talking, that's what they're planning to do. I don't care. I'll wait for them to execute their plan, and then I will prosecute their plans. Pressure endorsement. Fake opposition. Next. Electoral sale. What do these people want to do? You know, I spend pretty close to $2 million. I'm not asking you to give me the $2 million back, but you know the expenses I went through. I'm also in debt. I need to pay back some of my debts. So I think we need to discuss. And if you can come up with a considerable amount of money to help me pay that debt, I'm not asking you to pay my debt, but I mean it's just fair that I get back some of the money to take care of my business. Electoral sale. And if that has to come up, I'll put my people behind you. Put my people behind you. This is the 21st century. Hold on. They will execute the plan, I will prosecute their plans. doing now? Attacking the CDC using what I call the crab mentality. Y'all were 20 in the bucket. 20 of y'all were in the bucket. CDC climbed out of the bucket and got to the top. So now y'all want to bring the CDC down with all of y'all. Instead of what? Supporting the CDC. Y'all want to bring the CDC down with all of you guys. Even though the reality says the vast majority of the country support him, 13 out of 15 countries voted for him. I don't care what the NEC says. That out of the 20 political parties, he took nearly half of the votes from 19 other political parties. You're going to begin to attack the CDC. Fake opposition. Fake opposition. Let's look at real oppositions. Real opposition political parties. Okay, let's look at the real ones. CDC is a real opposition party. UPP, first political party to not only recognize George Weah and concede defeat, but to also pledge their support to the CDC. Real opposition political parties. All the other political parties that are waiting are playing what we call the wait and see game. They will be reliant upon these political parties, and I'm going to put it in green, members of the Big Six. That's the Big Six. And the Big Six include the United Party is the ruling party, but we're just going to put them there for our records, okay? United Party, ANC, LP, ALP, MDR, and movie. One, two, three, four, five, six. Now, which one of these parties will go that side? That's the question. We're on the wait and see game. We are on the wait and see game. ANC have already hinted about the plan of the cartel and that of the Congo people. The plan of the cartel and the Congo people. ANC have already hinted that they may be on their way to the Supreme Court. Liberty Party, plan of the cartel, plan of the Congo people, hinted that they may be on their way to the Supreme Court. ALP, Ben Nairi, plan of the cartel and the Congo people already hinted that he may be on his way to the Supreme Court. Moving? Question mark. Prince Johnson? Question mark. Unity Party? Poised for the second round. After I explain everything to you guys in the first quarter of my lecture, does that surprise you that 1, 2, 3 already heading to the Supreme Court? Duh. That's a surprise you. Duh. This and this is question mark. This guy right here is right now. Nobody, Prince Johnson. Do not underestimate Prince Johnson. Right now, Prince Johnson is going through a lot of stress. And the reason for that is Prince Johnson never liked to leave the Liberian people. Prince Johnson said the gun that liberates must not rule. Prince Johnson has always fought for the Liberian people. No matter what you say about Prince Johnson, you have to think when you're dealing with Prince Johnson. everything that he fights for is always about the Liberian people. However, he's not a perfect man. He's made a lot of mistakes before. Sometimes he goes the wrong way. But I will tell you one thing. I wouldn't be surprised when Prince Johnson tells somebody, get the hell out of my face. Almost the whole country said they wanted the man. What should we do now? We should turn our back on the Liberian people? It was the same Prince Johnson that blasted the Unity Party government for being nothing but a bunch of rogues, criminals, So minus Joseph Walker, all the people below Joseph Walker are from the same Unity Party. They were the ones that stole all the Liberian people money. Ellen Johnson said, if asked them, was it I alone that was corrupt? They said no. And she said, but then why is it that you're telling all the Liberian people to look at me as if you people were not the rogues that I brought into the government? Leave me the hell alone. She told them, leave me alone. Prince Johnson, looking at that now, may most likely head to this way. Movie Mel Jones has always been seen as the poor people's man. And he's under a lot of stress. A lot of stress right now. Do I go with them or I go with the people? It was because of the people that I even lost my job. Because I would have held on. I was in the cartel. And it hurts. So these two people, I urge you to consider them when you're praying. Pray for Prince Johnson and pray for Mills Jones. The reason why I'm asking you to pray for them is not where they will carry their votes. I care less. I'm going to repeat myself. I care less. But I know what stress is. I know what it means to be doomed between a decision that has to do with the people and a decision that have to do with a couple of persons. I know what it means. As today somebody said, oh, the people say now you with a Unity Party. Yeah, because those people who say they think I'm stupid like them. And I don't have a better word for it. They just think I'm stupid like them. That I'm the only one that like to see my people suffer. Nonsense. However, I know what it means to be able to look at the Liberian people crying for change. And then you have to turn your back on them because you got to operate with some people. So pray for Prince Johnson and pray for this guy right here. Why am I not asking you to pray for these people? It's because I heard it with my own ear what the plan of the cartel and the Congo people were. And as I look at it, I'm not saying that's what it is, but if it walks like a duck, smells like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, it is a duck. So if I see the plan, and I listen to the plan, and I watch everything, and then I see y'all running to the Supreme Court, knowing that as of, let's look at the tally sheet. Hold on for me for a minute. I like evidence, please. Hold on for me for a minute. I like to show evidence. This is the chart. Last result. Last result. 39.2. Not the last result of, but let's just take this. If you are at 39.2, for example, we're going to use this graph from NEC right here. And all the other people 8.9, but Brumsky, you are 9% right there. Cummins, you are 7%, 6.9%. So let's take 6 and 6, that's 12. Let's give them 13% right here. 13 and 9. 13 and 9. That's 22, I believe. And let's just give you 23%. If Prince Johnson, Alexander Cummins, and Brumsky, You guys amount for half of the votes that Joshua has, just half. Just half. Let's assume we get a 10% vote for all the ballots that were thrown away. The Liberian people have spoken. And if you say, I go back to the Supreme Court or whatsoever, we don't care about all this thing, because everybody knows that the real man that got cheated in this whole thing is this man right here. Had he told his people to use their thumb, and had he used his thumb, it would have been a done deal, finish. Hopefully, you expose your secret. I myself go on the radio tomorrow to appeal to the Liberian people so that we jointly can appeal to Georgia to promote the idea of a thumb tag to the ballot. Because at the end of the day, if you come back and tell us, say, XYZ, we will bring that thumbprint to America to prove. On the thumb, the fingerprint, you can't lie. Because even if you say, ma'am, this was not your ballot, or they ballot we disqualified, but we got a machine for it. If that was a thumb, that was a thumb. And we'll so vastly educate our people that this time 80% of the vote will go. Not that Latin. So, however, after knowing the plan, we're going to work against the plan. Now, let's do this. Many of you will want to go through a question and answer period. In the meantime, in between time, let's see if I can connect to my book and take a few questions. Take a few questions. Where am I? Oh, oops. All right, let me take a few questions here. Let me take a few of your questions, please, quickly. If you don't mind, I'll take a few of your questions. I'm looking at my stuff right here, my tab, and so if you want, I will go ahead and answer your question. Ansu Dukley, not everybody in Nima. I agree with you. That's why, George, we have won something there. Lying to you seditious, is that what you call learning? JJ Saka, my whole idea is sometimes I just block people. I don't argue with them. I just block you. It's easy. We have the numbers to win this election. I agree with you, Ansu. JJ Saka, whoever your name is, block JJ Saka. Boom. I just block you. It's easy. I don't know how Facebook fixes your stuff, but it fixes my stuff where I'm able to block you. Easy. Next. You can say what you want to say. If you insult anybody, I just block you. It's easy. Zola said that Prince Johnson liberated the Bannings when he was sitting in Monrovia. I don't believe he did, but he is a security vote. And that's why they always do exactly as he tells them, because he helps them out when they need him. Using the thumb is the best idea. I'm going to fight until George we agree to use the thumb. Because if they mess with it, I can bring it to America and we can use it. Must remain in opposition, and they were never won in the first place. Emilio Doma. Do you see possibility of Eskedo Jr. and PYJ supporting Jim? Eskedo Jr. already supports him. If PYJ support him, then we know where the power lies. It's not going to go anywhere. We want it, we'll win it again. I don't know why you worry about Eskedo Jr. He could not even win in his own district. Why are you continuously masquerading in mendacity? Nima Prince. Because you operate under the title Nima Prince. That's the only reason why I do it. Putini. What is the way forward now for CDC to win this so-called runoff? 1, voters' education. 2, use your tongue. 3, enough. Get to the areas, put in more resources, take over the airwaves in Nimba, Lofa, and the other areas. Is there any plan for the CDC to ask for the resignation of the NEC chairman? I cannot speak to that right now, and I wouldn't speak to that right now. But why was the ink on the people's finger? That is, the ink on the finger means that you already voted. You think the runoff election will be held? I'm hoping not, but it remains to be seen. Mr. Fahngon, what are the international community doing, especially the EU? Not much until the final result comes up. Every smart person waits for the final result. Honorable Glade, was Dr. George Bole part of the cartel? Yes, he was. I don't know if he still is. Kokoya is a member of the Unity Party. What is your opinion on this? I agree with you, and it's true. And that is why he should not have been there in the first place. He ran on Unity Party ticket, so why was he allowed to be chairman? I don't know. What's CDC position on the massive election frauds? I reckon a position statement to the populace will make a difference. I'm not going to call it massive election fraud until the final result is announced. But for now, it is safe to say you're on the right track. We're going to take our pools watchers from Morovia to Nimba County and Lofa. I don't think you should do that. I think what should happen is people who will watch the pools in Nimba should come from Grand Jida, and people in Grand Jida should come from Nimba. People in Lofa should come from Grand Coup. People in Grand Coup should come from Lofa. That's how you do it. Have they verified all the invalid votes? Not yet, not to my knowledge. Thanks. I thought they used the thumb. No, they did not. They used impen, and if you can't see when you mark it one time and you try to go over here another time, invalid votes. Can the CDC win 13 counties second round? I think the CDC can win all 15, not 13. 13 is a small number. Do you think George Weah will protest the results of the if the result is fraudulent? If the result is fraudulent, the expectation will be high. But as far as we're concerned, we're waiting for the results. It's not good to jumpstart anything. The so-called NEC chairman is a disgrace to the Liberian electoral process. I agree with you, he is. And let's look at this again. Will you guys accept the results from the second round? Together and say you will accept a result from the second round is premature. Do we know what's going to happen? If there is an electoral fraud, would you do it? Is it appropriate for Senator Weah to... Okay. Will you... it's going a little bit too fast. Okay, let's do this. Should CDC assume state power? Do you see the possibility of any sense in pushing the idea of using the Gambian marble voting system? Why not? It's good. It's effective. And there is no cheating in it. NEC is a disgrace to contemporary democracy. I agree with you, Mr. Junior. It shouldn't have happened, and I hope we can correct it. I heard that the invalid vote shall go to Buakai. I've never heard that, and I cannot speak to that. But I'll say this. If that happens, that will be travesty of justice and the biggest electoral fraud. Equally, Corkery, I hope that you will ask a question. Can you guys, CDC, start at the necessary things to educate the people right now? We are educating people. As a matter of fact, this is an example of what we're doing. 1 week now, no good results yet. International community is looking at the foolishness Mr. Kokoya is doing. I don't think they're looking at the foolishness he's doing again, but I think they're trying to figure out the best course of action right now. They already know. Break down Nukwe's record for me if you know it. Nukwe does not have a record. That's why he was flawed. And I cannot break down for you a record that does not exist. Will they minute votes from where? Will they need votes from where? I don't understand. You made a mistake. Will they minus votes from where to fix the invalid vote situation just for the sake of cheating? I'm sure that's what he meant. I don't think they will minus votes from where, because they've already minus enough. If you notice, yeah, I saw that. If you notice, most of the invalid votes came from areas that were heavily predominantly George Weah area. If you notice that. So, do you agree? You agree with me that Kokoya is unfit for the job. Oh, I agree. I've already told you. Is it appropriate for Senator Weah to speak out now concerning? No, I don't think it is appropriate, simply because we have not gotten the full results. It will be premature to jump in the middle and say anything. You have to wait for the election results, not part of the election results. Very poor. There are false information proliferating that Ellen is supporting Weah. Is that true? That is totally false. That is manipulative assertion, and that is bogus. Is there any plan to transport people from faraway county who were taken there by some aspirants? We did not take people there, so I don't think we should transport people back. Those who took them there should be responsible for that. Did Nupa run for representative? Yes, he did. He was flogged. When was the last time you visited Liberia? The last time I was in Liberia was just now. Because the people I'm speaking to are not in heaven. So I'm currently in Liberia as we speak. When was the last time, Mabu? Who are you looking for? Is it possible for the NEC commissioner to be changed? Yes, it is. That's why you have a deputy, but all of them needs to be changed before a second round can happen. But that decision is left to the party, not to me. Is it possible for NEC commissioner to be changed? Yes. I said yes. Nothing you put into place by way of an appointment is subject to, it's not a tenure position where you say you're there for 3 years. No. He was appointed, he can be fired. But to fire him in the middle of an election, people say no. But if it becomes necessary, which in this case it is, fire him. High level of incompetence. CDC should protest in the 6th for verification of all ballots that are invalid. I agree with you. I've said that before on the radio and I'm saying it now. The verification is a must. We need to look at what disqualified those people, or their ballots, or their votes. What made it invalid? What made their votes invalid? So that we make sure, because according to our laws, they are entitled to voter education. And we pay for it, so they should have it. Someone says, so our constitution approved for someone to run for 2 separate positions? Well, when we say you can have a proxy, you can have what we call a proxy. The person you support, you handpick and put that they flog you and the person. We're talking politics. How well do you think the ambassador Weah will do in Grand Bassa and Logan? I don't know, in Logan? What kind of aggressive plans should be instituted in your opinion? We carry out an aggressive campaigning in Grand Bassa, and what we will do this time will be to do a little bit more than what we did. I don't think we were sluggish in Grand Bassa, but it's just that this time we will be much more aggressive than what we were before. There are too many insults being waged on Ellen by some disgruntled member of the Unity Party. Do you think it's a cover-up? I think it's fake. The good job that they're trying to do is to push Ellen out of the party. If they are successful in pushing Ellen against us, they win. And that's what they've been fighting to do. But we're paying them no attention because the Liberian people know better. Why wasn't the public educated before the election to avoid all those invalid votes? I don't know. And that is why we need to investigate. That's one of the many reasons why Kokoya needs to be fired. Because there were monies made available. There is money in the budget for that. But all the FM stations that I work with and have worked through, broadcasting to the nation, not one can tell you Kokoya paid them a dime for voters' education. Patini say no, this time comes around, Liberian want jungle justice. Are we descending into another crisis with this kind of political sabotage? I don't want to believe so, but at the same time, I will not rule that out. Because if you take the ordinary people for granted, then you have to reflect on Burkina Faso, Blaise Compaoré. You have to reflect on the Ivory Coast. You have to reflect on other countries and just look at the example of people's power and not take it for granted. I don't think we need door-to-door in Nimba. We need to take over the airways. Dada Johnson, my wife. Obviously, his podcasts are very educational and informative to UP supporters because they can't stop tuning in when he goes live. Well, that's why you kiss me every night, and that's why I love you. Sifa Skroma, you can't be shamed when you're lying. No, I won't. Because if I have to be shamed, then you have to be stupid listening to me. Who else? I think I missed one person at the bottom. Edward Hart, my friend and brother. What will it take to change Lofa and Nimba to realize you don't always have to side with someone from your own county, and that nationalism should be first before tribal sentiments? It will take massive education. And to do that means you have to invest in media. You have to invest in media. Print, electronic, and social. We cannot continue to sit, spend money on gas and food, and think we can pass through the mud to get to every county. No. But when those people tune their radio on and they learn something and they reflect on Moses Topu, Sam Doki, Jackson F. Doe, Enoch Dokole, and they get to understand that it was the cartel that took their lives, then they'll have to choose between the cartel and their own son George Weah. That was a mistake that we made in Nimba. We paid dearly for it. Unfortunately, I must be the first one to admit. The same applies to Lofa, and we're still fooling around. Hopefully we can get it right this time. Folks, I'm afraid I have to leave it there. Thanks for joining me. It was my pleasure, and I look forward to doing one for you probably tomorrow. God bless you all. God bless the nation, and save the state. I'll talk to you later. Let's continue the conversation. I'm going to sit behind my laptop, and I'll be interacting with you as we go along. Thank you.